All right, Scott, let's talk about the positives coming out of the tour just completed. What impressed you about the team?
Oh, a number of our new guys were mixing in really well, and we're calling it our brotherhood. So our team culture environment, if you like, and those new guys got on really quickly with a lot of people, and they spent time with new people that they hadn't known, and were able to do that in a tight-knit town, I guess, if you like, in Wagga Wagga. It's a pretty small place, so the boys spent a fair bit of time together. So that was fantastic. From the rugby side of it, we gave everybody an opportunity to play. Everyone played that on tour, to put their hand up for selection and even further so for the trial game.
Do we read anything into the results? It was a good comeback in that first game.
Yeah, it was. We were really happy with that. We were down 19-0 at half-time, and the boys, we made a few changes, and it was challenging conditions, and we fought back. So read anything into the result? No. It was what we were doing and what we were trying to get out of it, and yeah, it was good.
Did we get through without too many knocks and bumps that concern you?
In that game, in the Brumbies game, we had 3 concussions, so that was a bit of a bummer for the boys that they had to come off. But they will recover from that, so that's not long-term injury, and that's just assessed daily and weekly. So those boys are starting to return to some sort of conditioning now, so it's okay.
Just talk about the Type 5, because a lot of new faces in that, how they're gelling.
They're doing really well. We have more competition in those areas this year, in both our props and hookers and locks. So that's bloody healthy, and they're all trying hard, and they're pushing each other, and they're helping each other, believe it or not, and so that's raising the standards and the expectations.
What about fitness levels at this stage of the season? Are they where they need to be?
Yeah, we've changed the way we train a little bit, training at a higher pace, and the boys are actually finding that in the game they're having more breath than what they used to, so they should be in a good place.
What about the amount of contact training you've done outside of the games? Is it heavy at this stage, or are you sort of winding down and looking to keep them fresh?
No, it hasn't been that heavy. We have structured the trainings during the week, depending on the loads with the conditioning and weights and what have you, so it's been appropriate, and we haven't trained a lot of that. It's been really specific and short, sharp bouts of that, so I don't think we've really lost too many to collision injuries.
Let's have a talk about the draw. Everyone's got their own theory about having all the home games, the run of home games being a benefit or otherwise. How do you view it?
Both ways. We get an opportunity to have lots of home games early to get our fan base and play in front of our people down here early, and then we're on the road a fair bit, so hopefully we can generate some momentum within the way we play, but also the support that we get early.
The criticality then of getting those early points, isn't it? It could make or break you.
Yeah, it could do. We're looking at it from a positive angle that this should set our season up and, like I say, get some momentum flowing into the rest of the season. There's no break in the middle to recover or take a breath, so it's really crucial that most teams will want to get off to a good start.
Is it fair to say, my assessment only, is perhaps an even spread of talent this year, a more even spread than perhaps we've had in the past?
Yeah, like I say, definitely in the forwards there's more competition, but with some of our selections in the backs have proved to be the same. So last year we relied probably heavily on a number of players, where this year there's more competition and there'll be more people getting more games.
I mentioned it to Tony Brown when he spoke about the surprise factor of a Fekatoa or a Buckman. That's gone now. Everyone knows what they're looking at. Perhaps someone else will pop up. Yeah,
that's up to the players. We've done well out of the group that you mentioned last year, and we'd like to think that we've picked a few individuals that were in the same boat, that have been disillusioned by franchises they have been with, and a fresh start for them. And like I say, all those new guys have come in and gelled really well in our environment, and we've picked the right people, so it's up to them now.
Tell me how Malachi has changed as a person. I mean, I spoke to him when he first joined the squad last year, very, very shy, reticent about his abilities. In 12 months became an All Black. Is he a changed man?
No, I don't think so. He came down extremely hungry and a little bit raw, and he's put in a hell of a lot of effort along with his teammates and the support staff to use that, and he has grown in terms of his knowledge and experience in the game and what he needs to do and how he needs to do that off the field as well as on. So I don't think he's changed. He's matured a little bit. He's still quite shy, and he's aware of the expectations from within the team coming back from an All Black environment. So he's aware of that, and he doesn't want to change. He wants to be the same Malakai that turned up last year, and we want him to be the same person as well.
He certainly gives the impression that his feet are still on the ground. I mean, everyone keeps telling you you're brilliant, and you start to believe it after a while, can't you?
I think that's feet on the ground has got a lot to do with his family. He's from a big family, and he's had a troubled past in terms of his body and physicality coming through. So his gratitude's really good, and his respect, and he's working hard. He knows he has to keep working hard, and he's a very, very motivated fella in terms of what he wants to do. So those are all good combinations.
Talk about, do you have a leadership team, an official leadership team to support the captains? Is that in place here?
Yeah, we do. So Ben has been away, so that's been a little bit more extensive, I guess. And there may be one or two players that emerge during the first part of the season who prove to be leaders as well. But yeah, we have a handful that we meet with every week and talk to each other and set out the week and what has gone and where we want to go to. So yeah, we have that.
Well, you've got that street, the likes of Shane Christie, an obvious one who's a successful captain and won his own place here.
Yeah, that's right. Shane's in that group. He wasn't at the start of last year, but because of the way he played and what he offered and what he drove, he ended up being in that group. So now this year he's in that, and that's what I say. There could be another player like that who might force his way in as well.
It's the sort of thing, it's becoming a norm with the Highlanders, isn't it? Guys who have struggles elsewhere, who come here and absolutely excel and prove exactly how good they can be.
Yeah, and we don't mind that. The nature of the people here in the town enable them to do that as well, but also what the boys and the support staff, and this is a franchise, how we set that up in terms of what we're calling our environment or our brotherhood. And then it's up to players to develop and extend their own niche in that and make their own part of history in Highlanders franchise. So most players do that really well.
First round of the draw a bye. Now there's a downside, is that there's one less rest you get later. I suppose the upside is you get a chance to have a look at the Crusaders in particular and help you extra prepare for the next one.
I think the boys are ready to play. They're ready to hit someone else rather than each other. It'd be nice to be playing, but that's just the way it is for us. So we'll use that extra week wisely in terms of getting more performance and more clarity in the way we want to play and game plan. And yeah, we get the advantage of having at the opposition before they look at us. So we're heading down that track and starting to get ready for our first game.
Well, I look from the sideline and I get a genuine vibe about whether the team's happy. I know at the beginning of the season you haven't had any success or otherwise, but it does look genuine in terms of their enthusiasm and across the board.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes it's hard to get them off the training field. They want to hang around and keep training and keep hanging out with each other, and that's a very good sign, yeah.
And the Crusaders, actually, from a spectator point of view, you couldn't get a better game to start with, could you? There'll be 17,000 here for sure.
Yeah, we hope so. And you agree, we think it's an ideal start, especially the game we had here last year with them and how that finished. There's no revenge, but more excitement around a similar spectacle.
So is there anything that's left to do now? Is it just sitting, waiting, just a little bit of tweaking?
Yeah, we still want a little bit of polish, but tomorrow's game is an opportunity for players. There's still selection spots up for grabs, and that's what we want to see out of tomorrow.
Well, that was my next question. Do you have a first 15? Obviously the answer is not quite.
No, not quite. There's still a number of places that are up for grabs. Obviously, some players have established themselves, as you'd expect with our top players. But yeah, there's still a number of spots up for grabs.
Is it a horses for courses selection? You look at someone, this guy would suit the game against the Crusaders versus maybe not play them against the Storm as an example? Yeah,
absolutely. And you need to be smart tactically in the way you approach games, and because they're so tight, especially at the start of the season in terms of what you don't know. So yeah, we pick players according to the way that we want to be able to play the game.